Have you ever looked at your blood test and seen the word creatinine and thought it's just a number, right? I wish it were that simple. Because when that number quietly starts to climb, it isn't just ink on a page, it's your kidneys whispering for help. The tragedy is that most people don't hear that whisper until it turns into a scream, when swelling appears, blood pressure spikes, and energy drains away day after day. By then, almost half of your kidney function can already be gone, and you might not even feel pain. That's why I tell every patient who walks into my office kidney damage is silent until it's almost too late. But here's the hope. You don't need expensive supplements or exotic miracle cures to protect these two small organs, keeping you alive. Nature has already hidden powerful medicine inside simple foods. Most people overlook tiny dry fruits that can calm inflammation, flush toxins, and even help lower creatinine naturally. I'm Dr. Johnny, and in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how 5 everyday dry fruits, yes, the ones sitting quietly in your kitchen, can help restore your kidneys' natural rhythm boost GFR and bring your energy back without pills or side effects. Stay with me, because what you'll learn today could be the difference between silent decline and a second chance at health. And since healing never happens in isolation, we'll move from the science to the stories, from the foods to the feelings, starting with one simple nut that does more for your kidneys than most prescriptions ever could. When I think about the very first food that can quietly help your kidneys recover, one image comes to mind: a single walnut resting in my palm. It may look small, even ordinary, but inside that shell is one of nature's most powerful anti-inflammatory medicines. I still remember a patient named Robert, 69 years old, who came to me with swelling in his ankles and creatinine slowly creeping up every month. He had tried pills, powders, even detox teas. Nothing worked until we changed one simple thing in his breakfast. I asked him to start every morning with just 7 raw walnuts, unsalted, soaked overnight, and chewed slowly with water. 3 months later, his lab report told a different story. His creatinine had dropped by 0.3, his blood pressure was steady, and for the first time in years, he said, "Doc, I wake up without that heavy fog in my head." That's when I knew again what the science had been saying all along. Omega-3s in walnuts are no joke. Each ounce of walnuts carries about 2.5 grams of omega-3 fatty acids. The same family of nutrients that protect your heart also calm the tiny inflamed blood vessels inside your kidneys. Researchers at the National Institutes of Health found that people who regularly consume plant-based omega-3s, especially alpha-linolenic acid, showed better endothelial function, meaning their blood vessels expanded more easily, delivering oxygen and nutrients exactly where the kidneys need them most. Inflammation goes down, filtration improves, and that dangerous creatinine buildup starts to fall. But there's another hero hiding inside this nut: polyphenols, especially ellagic acid, the body's natural shield against oxidative stress. Think of oxidative stress as rust forming inside your kidneys. Polyphenols work like a polish, cleaning away the corrosion before it causes permanent damage. It's why people with chronic kidney disease often feel exhausted. Their cells are constantly fighting invisible fire. A handful of walnuts helps cool that fire down, giving your kidneys breathing room to heal. And let's not forget magnesium, around 45 milligrams per ounce. Magnesium relaxes your blood vessels, naturally lowering blood pressure, one of the biggest silent destroyers of kidney function. When blood pressure stabilizes, your kidneys no longer need to filter against a raging storm. Instead, they can work calmly and efficiently, like a perfectly tuned engine, rather than one overheating in traffic. If you're wondering how to fit this in, it's simple. Replace your processed morning snack or that midday cookie with a 1/4 cup of raw walnuts. Mix them into plain oatmeal, toss them over a salad, or blend them into homemade walnut butter. No sugar, no salt, no gimmicks. Just pure kidney protective fuel. Keep them refrigerated so the healthy oils don't go rancid, and if you find them hard to chew, soak them overnight. The texture softens and the nutrients become even easier to absorb. One small warning though, walnuts are calorie dense. More is not better. Stick to that small handful each day, because excess weight can quietly increase kidney stress again. Remember, consistency beats quantity. Now here's something fascinating: when the right fats enter your bloodstream, your body begins to rebuild from the inside out. Blood becomes thinner, circulation steadier, and the kidneys receive a cleaner flow of life itself. It's proof that healing doesn't always come in a pill bottle. It can come from what sits in your kitchen jar. But just knowing this isn't enough, because the next dry fruit I'm about to reveal doesn't just protect your kidneys, it helps sweep waste right out of your bloodstream before damage even begins. You know, after Robert's story with walnuts, I started noticing something fascinating. Once inflammation calms down, the body can finally start letting go of waste. But that process needs help from the gut. And that's where a simple, humble food steps in: the dried apple. Most people see dried apples as just a chewy snack. But inside every slice lies one of the most underrated kidney cleansers you'll ever find. I learned this years ago from a woman named Margaret, 65, who came to me complaining of constant bloating and fatigue. Her blood work showed mildly elevated creatinine and uric acid, but no one had ever asked her about her digestion. We started small, just a quarter cup of unsweetened dried apples every afternoon, instead of her usual candy bar. Within 6 weeks, she wasn't just feeling lighter, her creatinine had dropped, and her labs looked calmer. When she smiled and said, "Doctor, I can finally zip my shoes without swelling," I knew we'd unlocked something powerful. Here's the science behind her turnaround. A single serving of dried apples, about a quarter cup, contains nearly 3 grams of soluble fiber. That fiber binds to uremic toxins in the gut before they can slip into the bloodstream. The National Institutes of Health has reported that people who consume high-fiber diets often have significantly lower circulating toxins, which directly relieves pressure on the kidneys. It's like catching waste before it ever clogs the filter. But fiber is only part of the story. Dried apples are also rich in polyphenols and quercetin, plant compounds that act like microscopic repair crews, improving microcirculation inside your kidneys. Better blood flow means more oxygen and nutrients reach those delicate filtering units, helping them work smoother and last longer. Quercetin even protects the fragile endothelial cells, lining the vessel cells that are easily damaged by high blood pressure or sugar spikes. And here's something most people don't realize: dried apples are naturally low in potassium, much lower than dried bananas or apricots, making them one of the safest sweet snacks for anyone managing kidney challenges. That means you can satisfy cravings without overloading your system. Just keep the portion between a quarter and a third of a cup per day, and you'll get all the benefits without the potassium overload. Now, I want you to picture this. Instead of grabbing chips or cookies in the afternoon, you reach for a small handful of dried apples. Their soft sweetness calms your appetite, steadies your blood sugar, and quietly supports your kidneys at the same time. You can sprinkle them over Greek yogurt for extra protein, mix them into salads for a tangy texture, or even bake them gently at home, thinly sliced, 200 degrees Fahrenheit. 2 hours, no oils, no sugar, just nature doing its quiet magic. A word of caution, though: many commercial brands coat dried apples with sulfur dioxide or caramel glaze to keep them shiny and sweet. Those additives might look harmless, but they can trigger inflammation, spike blood sugar, and add stress to already tired kidneys. Always look for labels that read unsweetened and no preservatives. Organic is best because it's closer to the fruit's true form, pure, fiber-rich, and toxin-binding. And if you've ever felt sluggish after a sugary snack, you'll notice how different this feels. Instead of that crash, you get a gentle lift, stable energy, clearer focus, calmer digestion. That's the power of feeding your body what it recognizes, not what it resists. But just knowing this isn't enough, because there's another food that takes things to a whole new level. It doesn't just clean the bloodstream, it helps open up the very vessels that feed your kidneys with life itself. Most people overlook it completely, yet it might be the key to restoring healthy blood flow where it matters most. After learning how something as simple as dried apples can flush out hidden toxins, most people ask me the same question. So what about building kidney strength back up? Once the toxins are gone, how do I actually restore those filters? And my answer always begins with a handful of almonds. Almonds are often dismissed as just another crunchy snack. But to your kidneys, they're more like engineers, repairing, reinforcing, and protecting delicate tissues one bite at a time. I remember Thomas, a 71-year-old retired teacher, who used to grab salty crackers every afternoon. His blood pressure was climbing, and his creatinine had inched from 1.5 to 1.9 within 6 months. I asked him to swap that processed snack for 23 plain, unsalted almonds each day, sometimes soaked overnight, sometimes crushed into his morning oats. 8 weeks later, the change was visible not just on paper, but in his face. The puffiness around his eyes had faded, and his lab results showed lower blood pressure and a more stable GFR. He laughed and said, "Doc, I didn't change my meds, just my snacks." What he didn't realize was that almonds were quietly doing 3 jobs at once. First, they're rich in arginine, about 1 gram per ounce, an amino acid that helps blood vessels relax and widen. Better circulation means more oxygen reaching the kidneys, less pressure on their tiny filters, and smoother waste removal. The National Kidney Foundation notes that foods high in arginine may improve microvessel function, a critical factor in slowing kidney decline. Second, almonds provide vitamin E, about 7 milligrams in that same ounce. Vitamin E acts as a cellular bodyguard shielding kidney tissue from oxidative stress, the invisible damage caused by unstable free radicals. Over time, unchecked oxidative stress wears down kidney cells like sandpaper on glass. Vitamin E polishes that surface again, keeping the filters clear and resilient. Third, each ounce carries around 76 milligrams of magnesium, a mineral your kidneys absolutely adore. Magnesium helps regulate blood pressure, the silent trigger behind so many kidney failures. The Mayo Clinic found that adults with adequate magnesium intake showed significantly healthier kidney markers and lower risks of hypertension-related decline. When blood pressure steadies, kidneys breathe easier, and that's when healing can begin. Here's the beauty of it: almonds fit easily into real life. Blend them into smoothies, grind them into flour for pancakes, or spread pure almond butter on apple slices for a double kidney boost. Just avoid flavored or honey-roasted versions. The hidden salt and sugar can undo the very progress you're working for. And while almonds are nutrient-dense, moderation matters. 1 ounce, about 23 nuts, is the sweet spot. For people who find almonds tough on digestion, soaking them overnight softens their texture and unlocks more antioxidants. You'll feel the difference not just in your gut, but in your morning energy. It's nature's quiet reset, steady energy, stable pressure, calmer kidneys. Still, there's something deeper happening here. When you replace processed snacks with living foods, your body stops fighting and starts cooperating. Every almond you eat becomes a small signal to your kidneys that says you're safe. You can recover now. That's the kind of nutrition that medicine can't replicate. But just knowing this isn't enough, because there's another dry fruit that doesn't just rebuild it, re-energizes. It carries a rare compound studied at Harvard that can help rejuvenate tired blood vessels and fight anemia at the same time. And most people walk past it every single day without realizing its power. After almonds strengthen your circulation, there's another food that takes that same process to the next level by feeding not just your kidneys, but the blood that runs through them. Tiny, wrinkled, and sweet raisins are one of the most misunderstood foods in kidney care. Most people think of them as candy for kids or toppings for oatmeal. But to your kidneys, there's something far more powerful: a natural blood builder. I'll never forget George, a 68-year-old gardener, who came to me feeling constantly tired. His creatinine had stabilized after switching to a clean diet, but his energy was gone. When we checked his labs, his hemoglobin was low, classic anemia, a condition common in kidney patients because the kidneys produce less of the hormone that makes red blood cells. I asked him to add 2 tablespoons of sun-dried raisins to his morning routine, just 30 little gems. 3 months later, his energy returned. He joked, "Doc, I'm back in my garden before the sun now." That small change had made a measurable difference. Here's why. Raisins are loaded with resveratrol, a compound famously studied at Harvard for its ability to protect blood vessels and improve endothelial function. Healthy blood vessels mean smoother circulation into the kidneys, better oxygen delivery, and more efficient filtration. Every small vessel inside those organs depends on flexible walls, and resveratrol helps keep them young and elastic. They're also a gentle source of iron, which supports red blood cell production. Iron keeps oxygen flowing through your body like fuel through an engine, and when your kidneys struggle, that flow often slows. Just 2 tablespoons of raisins a day, around 1.6 grams of fiber, and a few milligrams of iron can support that balance without overwhelming your system. But the real magic is in their fiber and antioxidants. Johns Hopkins researchers discovered that diets rich in plant fiber can lower the overall metabolic load on the kidneys, allowing them to breathe. Fiber binds excess toxins in the gut, while antioxidants like catechins and quercetin reduce oxidative stress in kidney tissue. The result, less cellular damage, steadier creatinine, and a body that feels cleaner and lighter from the inside out. Of course, portion control is key. About 30 raisins, no more than 2 tablespoons, are enough to deliver the benefits without spiking blood sugar. Choose unsulfured, sun-dried, oil-free raisins. Skip the shiny ones coated with glucose syrup or vegetable oil. Keep them in an airtight jar and pair them with high-fiber foods like oatmeal or whole-grain cereal for steady energy. And here's something most people overlook. Raisins don't just support kidney function, they also calm the digestive system and help the liver process waste more efficiently. That's why people who eat them consistently often report feeling less bloated, more awake, and surprisingly clear-headed. When your blood is cleaner, your brain follows. So the next time you're craving something sweet, skip the candy bar. Reach for a handful of nature's sweetness instead of sweetness that heals rather than harms. But just knowing this isn't enough, because the next dry fruit I'm about to show you doesn't just help the blood, it can reshape the way your kidneys handle protein pressure and long-term filtration. And almost no one realizes how powerful it really is until it's too late. When your blood starts to heal and your energy slowly returns, the next question is always the same. How do I keep my kidneys strong without overloading them? That's where one of nature's most balanced nuts steps in: the pistachio. Don't let its size fool you. This little green kernel is a powerhouse of plant protein and antioxidants designed almost perfectly for people who need nourishment without excess strain on the kidneys. I met Clara, a 70-year-old retired nurse who loved red meat but could no longer digest it easily. Her nephrologist told her to lower her protein load, but she was terrified of losing strength. We replaced her daily steak with one small handful, about 49 pistachios. Within 2 months, her creatinine had stabilized, her blood pressure dropped, and she told me something unforgettable. I feel lighter but stronger. That's the balance pistachios create. They fuel your body without flooding your kidneys with waste. Here's the reason. Each ounce of pistachios provides around 6 grams of plant-based protein, yet produces fewer nitrogen byproducts than animal protein. That means your kidneys can repair tissue and maintain muscle without drowning in extra metabolic waste. It's clean protein, just what weakened kidneys crave. But the benefits go even deeper. Pistachios are loaded with lutein and zeaxanthin antioxidants, often celebrated for eye health. Yet their effect on kidney tissue is remarkable. According to research from the National Institutes of Health, these compounds lower oxidative stress, the invisible chemical pressure that silently destroys filtration cells. When that pressure drops, your kidneys function longer, steadier, calmer. They also contain a moderate 291 milligrams of potassium per ounce, less than bananas, but enough to support healthy blood pressure and fluid balance. For most early-stage kidney patients, that's a safe window. Potassium in moderation acts like a pressure regulator, helping blood move smoothly through the renal arteries instead of pounding against fragile vessel walls. If you want to make pistachios part of your daily rhythm, treat them as a mid-morning recharge. 1 ounce, about 49 kernels, is the ideal serving. Choose unsalted raw or dry roasted varieties. Avoid the brightly dyed chili-coated or ranch-flavored ones. Those are sodium bombs disguised as snacks. And if cracking shells feels tedious, go for pre-shelled versions. They're easier to digest and help you control portions. For seniors or anyone who struggles with chewing, blending pistachios into smoothies works beautifully. They add creaminess, mild sweetness, and a steady flow of clean energy. Stored in airtight jars, they stay fresh for weeks, and because their healthy fats oxidize easily, it's best to keep them away from heat or direct sunlight. Here's something that surprises many people: eating pistachios regularly doesn't just support kidney function, it can also stabilize blood sugar and help manage weight, 2 of the biggest drivers behind chronic kidney decline. By replacing processed snacks with a handful of these, you lower inflammation, curb cravings, and strengthen your heart and kidneys in one move. And remember, the key is balance, not abundance. Too many pistachios can still add excess calories and potassium. 1 serving a day is plenty. It's the consistency that heals, not the overload. But just knowing this isn't enough, because there's something far more powerful waiting a simple practice that doesn't come from food at all. It's a quiet, ancient posture that uses your own body to improve blood flow, drain swelling, and lower stress on your kidneys. Few people do it daily, yet those who do often see remarkable results. After discovering how foods can heal from the inside, it's time to explore something even simpler. Something that costs nothing yet can transform the way your kidneys feel every single day. No pills, no powders, not even a kitchen. Just you, your breath, and gravity itself. It's called the legs up the wall pose, or Viparita Karani in yoga. I know what you're thinking. How could lying with my legs up help my kidneys? But that's exactly what I thought years ago, until I saw it change one of my patients' lives. David was 62, a retired bus driver who came in complaining of swollen legs and restless sleep. His blood pressure was high and his kidney function was dropping fast. We adjusted his diet, yes, but I also taught him this one simple pose. Every evening just before bed, he would lie on the floor with his legs resting vertically against the wall. His arms relaxed at his sides, eyes closed and slow breathing. 10 minutes, no more. 2 weeks later, he called me saying, "Doc, for the first time in years, my legs aren't heavy at night." His morning swelling had reduced, his blood pressure improved, and his sleep became deeper. When we rechecked his labs, his creatinine had stabilized, no new rise. It wasn't magic, it was circulation. Here's what happens inside your body when you do this pose. As your legs rest higher than your heart, blood naturally flows back toward the upper body, improving oxygen supply to the kidneys and heart while easing the pressure on your lower veins. This helps lymphatic drainage, your body's built-in detox system, clear away trapped fluid and waste. The Cleveland Clinic even recommends it as a restorative therapy for improving circulation and reducing swelling without physical strain. But the benefits go beyond blood flow. This pose also calms the nervous system, lowering cortisol, the stress hormone that silently tightens your blood vessels and elevates blood pressure. When cortisol drops, your kidneys receive blood more freely, filtering waste with less resistance. It's a simple, silent reset that tells your body you can relax now. The best part, anyone can do it. You don't need to be flexible, and you don't need fancy yoga gear. Just lie down near a wall, raise your legs, breathe slowly, and hold for 10 to 15 minutes. Avoid doing it right after a big meal. Give your body at least an hour to digest. If your hamstrings feel tight, slide a pillow or folded blanket under your hips. The goal isn't perfection, it's restoration. This nightly ritual does something beautiful. It gives your kidneys a few minutes of peace in a world that never stops demanding. Imagine ending your day not with screens or stress, but with a moment of silence that strengthens your heart, clears your mind, and eases the weight your kidneys carry. When food heals from the inside and the body restores itself from the outside, you begin to experience true recovery, the kind that no prescription alone can promise. But just knowing this isn't enough, because the real question is, will you take this knowledge and turn it into action? In the next part, I'll show you how to bring everything together, the foods, the habits, and the mindset that protect your kidneys for life. When we put it all together, something remarkable starts to happen. Healing no longer feels like chasing numbers on a lab report. It feels like life returning to your body. Each of these simple choices becomes a message to your kidneys that says, you're not forgotten. You can heal. Walnuts calm the fire of inflammation and steady your circulation. Dried apples sweep toxins before they ever reach your blood. Almonds strengthen your vessels and guard every fragile filter. Raisins feed your blood with antioxidants and iron, giving energy back to tired cells. Pistachios fuel you with clean protein that repairs without overloading. And finally, the legs up the wall pose restores what stress takes away: balance, oxygen, calm. 5 humble foods and 1 gentle movement together, they form a rhythm of renewal. Eat, move, breathe, rest. Over time, that rhythm can lower creatinine, improve GFR, and bring you back to the version of yourself that felt light, clear, and alive. It's not a miracle. It's biology responding to consistency. So tonight, before you reach for a pill or scroll through another quick fix, remember this: the solution may already be sitting in your kitchen bowl or waiting in the quiet space of your own living room. Healing isn't loud, it's steady, but only you can make it real. Because just knowing all this isn't enough. The true change begins the moment you decide to act. And in the next part, we'll close this journey together with one message of hope that I want every person watching to hear before they leave. Before you go, let me leave you with this healing. Your kidneys isn't about perfection, it's about persistence. Every small change adds up: a handful of walnuts, a glass of clean water, 10 quiet minutes with your legs up the wall. These aren't just habits. They're acts of care for the organs that keep you alive every second of the day. If this video helped you understand your body a little better, don't let the message fade away. Save this video so you can come back whenever you need a reminder, and subscribe to the Heal You channel to receive the latest medical insights, simple kidney care routines, and evidence-based nutrition tips that can truly make a difference. You're not alone on this journey. Millions are learning step by step to protect their kidneys and rebuild their health naturally, and you're now part of that movement. So stay hopeful, stay consistent, and remember, your kidneys are listening to every choice you make. Choose wisely, choose gently, and they'll thank you with years of strength and life. I'm Dr. Johnny, and I'll see you in the next video where we keep learning how to heal from the inside out together.